It's a big tune-up game tonight at Harry Fales Gymnasium as the 9-8 New Philadelphia Quakers roll into Alliance to take on the Aviators. The Quakers and Aviators up next on SmeeSports.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation! We will see you on Saturday afternoon! Riley Meister gets the point!
Back into left field. Say goodnight to that baseball.
This is another one. It's back-to-back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas. He's the point, and it's alive. Hansen pushes it over. Unbelievable. We play on. It's blocked. We're tied. We're tied. Unbelievable. The Harry Fales Gymnasium hosted many players throughout the years. Legends of today, yesterday, and tomorrow have played on this floor. And tonight, we could see another legendary performance from Alliance's own J.R. Jackson as he is back in the lineup as the Quakers of New Philadelphia roll into town. This is OHSAA Boys Basketball on SmeeSports. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Alliance High School for this OHSAA clash. It should be a good one tonight. Both teams, one game played in February, one loss. You look at New Philadelphia, their loss against a very good Mansfield senior side, 55-44 Alliance. We were there on Saturday. It was all Louisville in that one, 68-36. Both teams look for a bounce back. Alliance, they get a massive spark. Enter their superstar, J.R. Jackson, a two-time All-Ohio member, back in the lineup. He was out ill on Saturday, and he is ready to start off February hot. Alliance, besides tonight, only has one more opportunity to increase their ranking before the playoff draw, and with a win tonight, that would do wonders for their standing. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here as it rolls through. An all-junior lineup for the Aviators with J.R. Jackson, Tajay Nicholson, Cam Burton, Braylon Sears, and Cole Pasco, the 5. As for New Philadelphia, Carson Crandall, Reed Wells, Lincoln Murphy, Quinn Miller, and Aiden Mushrush, the junior, are your 5. Head coach for Alliance, Chet Harper, in his second season. And for New Philadelphia, it is Zach Ross. Thank you to both sides for providing information and lineups before this game so we can have that graphic ready to go. This should be an intriguing matchup. We'll dive into common opponents throughout the broadcast as that will be a massive talking point, especially looking at the Northwest and Worcester games from both sides. We'll save that one for later, but it is an interesting one to study. On one hand, you see Alliance, a better record, 11-6 in comparison to 9-8. But New Philadelphia, you could say they are more battle-tested than the Aviators. Will that test be enough to prevail on the road? That remains yet to be seen. New Philly, they were able to take down Marlington in girls basketball, and in girls basketball, they took down Alliance as well, or they will potentially take them down tomorrow at New Philly. But right now, the boys, the focus is on them as they look to down the Aviators in what would be a great win for them on the road. A win here for New Philly. They reach double-digit wins on the year. A win for Alliance, it would be their 12th of the season, and they would start a new win streak heading into the backyard brawl. We'll toss it downstairs, and we will get underway.
Of the Alliance Aviators. We live in the greatest country in the world with freedoms like no other. To honor America and in respect for all who have served our country and those who are still serving our country to defend the freedoms we enjoy, we ask gentlemen to please remove your hats and everyone that is able to please stand for the playing of our national anthem. As the host of tonight's game, the athletic department at Alliance High School welcomes you to tonight's basketball game between Alliance High School and New Philadelphia High School. And thank you for your support of high school student athletes. The student athletes, coaches, and officials have put great effort in preparing for this game. Please respect them for their efforts and remember to respect the game regardless of the outcome. Officials assigned to this game have met the requirements set by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The officials for this game are Matthew Gasser, Jeffrey Huff, and Mark Zwick. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of Alliance High School, and you are requested to so regard them and to so treat them in keeping with the ideals of good sportsmanship. Now to meet the teams. The visitors on the scoreboard, the New Philadelphia Quakers. Head coach, Zach Ross. Assistant coaches, Michael Ross and Kyle Sunweiler. The starters for the Quakers. A senior, number 3, Carson Brandon. A junior, number 4, Reed Wells. A junior, number 24, Quinn Miller. A sophomore, number 23, Lincoln Murphy. And a junior, number 30, Aiden Mushroom. Now for your host aviator, head coach Chet Harper, assistant coaches Corey Stevens, Rich Jackson, Colin Gurley, and Therese Scott. Running the floor at point guard, standing at 5'8", he's the master with the ball, dropping dimes. Number 3, junior Cameron Burton. At power forward, standing strong at 6'3", he's the master of the box out and a rebounding machine. Number 32, junior Cole Pasco. At 6'3", he's a junior sharpshooter, lighting up from beyond the arc. Junior, number 5, Braylon Sears. At guard, standing at 6'2", he's got the hops and the hustle and makes things happen. Number 2, junior Tajay Nicholson. Running the show is an All-Ohio 6'1" guard, 3-year starter and a certified bucket getter with over 1,000 career points. Number 1, junior J.R. Jackson. Good.
Both Alliance schools know how to do introductions. We saw that last night, and once again, we see it here at Harry Fales Gymnasium. It is game time in A-Town. This is OHSAA boys basketball on SmeeSports. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening as we have a good one on hand tonight as the 11-6 Alliance Aviators welcome in the 9-8 New Philadelphia Quakers. It is time to rumble. Nicholson wins the opening tip, and we are underway at Harry Fales. Nicholson getting his first start potentially of his career. Hasn't started in any game we've covered all year, but after going on a hot streak, scoring in double figures against Minerva and at Louisville, he earns the nod tonight. Great defense by New Philly on this opening sequence. Mush Rush hits it out of play. Possession will remain with the Aviators. Alliance enters play tonight, averaging over 55 points per game while allowing just under 54. A pretty consistent team in that 50 to 60 range. It's Jackson, far wing. Missed the last game due to illness. We'll see if he is able to get back to work, and it is business as usual for JR. There was no real doubt, but we had to ask the question if JR would pick up where he left off. That basket tells us all we need to know. Alliance is on the board, and here come the Quakers up the floor. Miller swings to the far wing, now top to Wells. It's a wide open Crandall. No good. Nicholson crashes the glass and picks up the rebound. Tajay Nicholson won the opening tip and picks up the first defensive rebound of the game for the Aviators. Cam Burton will run the offense with a little bit more efficiency tonight, has Jackson garnering the double teams more often. Nicholson no good from outside the arc. Mush Rush, the junior, picks up the loose basketball. 2-0 courtesy of J.R. Jackson, your score through 1 minute. Crandall immediately double teamed. It's Pasco and Jackson. He swings outside. Quakers go again. It's Miller in the lane, far corner. Now to the wing, it's Murphy. No good, a little shy off the iron. Pasco can't get the transition play. It goes low to Mush Rush, and he completes it. New Philly saw exactly what Pasco was trying to do. They read it perfectly, found Mush Rush inside, and now we are tied up at 2. An excellent cut to the basket by Mush Rush. If we could see more plays like that, this looks like a great game on hand, especially in regard to the paint play. The paint play, it could be hit or miss at times, but when the cuts are on point and the service is too, it'll be good. It's picked off in transition. The Quakers go, but no good. Miller can't convert, and the Aviators catch a break, and here comes the offense. It's Jackson in the corner. No good. Back iron. Nicholson goes for the rebound, but goes over the back. That will be the first foul of the game with 5:55 on the clock. Nicholson did a little bit too much there. He has to be careful with his height. He goes up, trying to get that rebound, a little too much on the back. Every time that is going to be called. Still 2-2 as New Philly will take their offense up the floor. They average just over 52 points per game while allowing just under 45. Definitely a defensive team, New Philly is, so we'll see if that plays a factor down the stretch in this one. To the far corner, it's Miller. Miller immediately trapped by Nicholson. Tajay gets the steal, here he comes, and it's won back immediately by Miller. Great defense by the Quakers after suffering the turnover, and here comes their offense. It's Crandall outside, but it's a foul before the pass. And New Philly, seeing the shot not go in, will take it. 5:22 on the clock in the opening frame, 2-all the score. And as you've seen so far, expect to see a lot of defense in this one. Defense will win or lose this game for a team. It's just a matter of time to see who is who. Floater no good from Wells as Cam Burton will now take it up the floor. Alliance working with plenty of momentum. It's Burton and he is clobbered. The McKinley transfer will go to the line for 2 as that will be the first foul of the game on New Philly. Cam Burton transferring in after his sophomore year at McKinley. He has made a good impact on this Alliance team so far. It was never going to be easy, but with 4 starters leaving the program, 4 voids to be filled, Cam Burton has definitely filled one of them nicely. The first of 2 is no good as the Quakers will make their first changes of the night. Harriman is in along with Isaac Roman Willie. Burton lining up. If he makes it, Alliance leads, and he does. Cam Burton on the board, make it 3-2 Aviators, 5:05 on the clock in Q1. It'll be interesting to see what the Quakers dial up on this possession. A lot of double teams, a lot of traps. The zone defense, it's tough to break, but when you get a good look like that, that definitely helps. It's no good. Willie gets the rebound, plays it outside to Harriman, and Harriman converts. T.R. Harriman, the sophomore, the first three-pointer of the ballgame. New Philly has their first lead. An excellent spark plug three by Harriman off the bench. That is why they subbed him in. They need a presence like that off the bench to hit a three. And now it's Nicholson. He makes it on the far side. Tajay Nicholson on the board, getting one of his first starts of his career. Make it 6-5 Aviators. And Tajay, he has been on a tear as of late once again, averaging, I believe, 15 points per game across the last two. Harriman, top of the key, will swing. Crandall immediately trapped by Burton and Pasco. Almost loses it. The Aviators want a double dribble. The officials say no. Harriman inside the paint will swing to the top. Now it goes to the corner for Crandall. He makes his way inside over Burton. Floats it in. Carson Crandall, averaging above 11 points per game, has his first two. And that was an excellent drive. He fakes it in the corner. Everyone on Alliance buys it and thinks that's where the shot is. Burton then has to go and play risky defense, just trying to draw the charge. Doesn't get it. The basket falls, and it's New Philly back on top. Burton in the lane, goes down low to Nicholson in the paint. Needs to get up a shot. Can't get it to go. Still loose. Willie falls on it, and it's out of play. He last touches it. A dicey sequence inside the paint for both sides. The Quakers last touch it, and the Aviators now have a chance to re-roll. It'll be Burton 2 inbound for A-Town. Sears. To the top, it's Tajay Nicholson, and now Burton will roll. Usually when Cam Burton gets the ball, one thing happens. It's time to facilitate and look for number one to get that rock. Cam Burton swings inside, takes it himself, but it's rejected. Lincoln Murphy, the sophomore, uses his hops and denies. The defense of New Philly continues to be on point, and now here comes their offense. It's Crandall to the far corner for Murphy. No good, bounces front iron, and Nicholson picks it up, but a foul is called before Tajay has it. It'll be on Isaac Roman Willie, the junior. That is his first. First substitution of the ball game for Alliance. They will bring out Braylon Sears, and they will enter Henry Scheibel, the Marlington transfer from a few years ago, the sole senior on this team. We talked to him on the podcast Inside the A&M. That episode is out now on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. But he talked about being the only senior and having to step up as a leader along with the likes of J.R. Jackson and this junior-led team, as you saw in the starting lineup. Pasco goes mid-range, can't convert a little bit too much, and it last touches a black jersey. 2:31 on the clock in Q1. 7-6 your score in favor of New Philadelphia. And once again, it will be an inbound play for Jackson, and it's blocked. Block number 2 by Murphy. Jackson keeps it, drives inside, has a lane, and he is fouled. Great composure by J.R. Jackson. Doesn't get discouraged by the initial block, and because of his efforts, he will go to the line for 2. And in the meantime, we'll watch this one back here. The inbound drawn up perfectly for J.R. Murphy, right place, gets the block, but J.R. gets it right back, slips inside, and goes to the line. And the first of 2 is good for J.R., tying it up at 7. Jackson now with 3 points. A few Fridays ago at West Branch, J.R. scored his 1,000th career point as an Aviator. And keep in mind, he is only a junior. He might hit 1,500 at Alliance, and that would be an impressive feat for him. You never know. So far tonight, he has 4, and we'll see what else he can do in this one upon his return to the lineup after missing the Louisville game. And immediately the defense of Alliance, too much for the Quakers. Brisker right there after Scheibel and JR combined for the double team. Perfectly executed, a 3-man defense. And now the offense will roll, and a foul is called, sending the Aviators to the baseline. But that trap, it is just so tough to break out of, especially at half court. You can't go backwards. If you do, it'll be a backcourt violation. It is going to be a tough game if New Philly can't break that sort of press. And we saw that a lot at NEO Youth Elites. Jackson, that 3, no good. A rebound, Miller. And cleaning the glass will be another key factor in this one. And opposed to right at half court is a full court press. Scheibel tips it forward. Cash Brisker picks it up. Excellent defense by the senior Scheibel. Forcing errors, That is all the Aviator defense needs to do to be successful tonight. Cash will roll the offense. 1:40 on the clock, Alliance up by 1. It's JR, top of the key, now inside the paint. Fakes the pass to Cash, and now Cash finally gets it at the V. Now 90 seconds on the clock in Q1. Cam Burton getting ready to check back in. Scheibel, the three-point shooter. Goes to the corner for Tajay Nicholson. Now top, it's J.R. Jackson. Pivoting right, will go now. Cutting left, spinning right, has a lane, takes it, no good. Rebound Miller. Excellent resilience by New Philly on the defensive. And now here comes the offense. Murphy top, will swing to the wing, it's Wells. 1 minute left to go in the opening frame. New Philly trailing by 1. It's Murphy in the key. And it's pickpocketed by Cole Pasco. The junior scoops it up and gets it behind. You can tell those soccer skills of being a goalkeeper pay off in this one for Cole. And now he'll set the screen for Cash Brisker. Brisker cutting left in the key, finds JR, he takes it inside, floats it. No good, the rim plays tricks on JR and says no sir at the end. Here comes New Philly in transition. The bank opens up for Lincoln Murphy. 2 blocks and now 2 points. The sophomore Murphy on a tear in this opening frame defensively and offensively. To have that from one of your younger guys, that is huge. Scheibel pushed out of play, and that should be number 5. And if it is, that will send Henry and the Aviators to the charity stripe. So that is number 5. Henry Scheibel, once again, the only senior on this team, transferred in from Marlington after his sophomore year. Had to miss the backyard brawl at Marlington last year, but this year he is ready. He is ready for Friday as he wants a chance against his old team. The first of 2 for Henry Scheibel. Bounces in. That puts the senior on the board, tying it up at 9. A low-scoring affair in quarter number 1. Burton back in the game as JR will take a brief breather. Scheibel gearing up for number 2. It's on point. Scheibel 2 points, those right now the difference. 10-9 Alliance, final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Wells gets it up. Crandall at the horn. Well shy. And that ends the quarter. Crandall didn't realize how much time was on the clock. I think he launched that with like 5 seconds left to go. Misses. It was close, yes, but that one caught us off guard a little bit. Either way, end of 1 here at Alliance High School. It is 10-9, the Aviators on top. You are watching OHSAA Boys Basketball on SmeeSports. Eight minutes in the books here at Harry Fales Gymnasium. Your score 10-9 in favor of Alliance. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening if you are just tuning in here on SmeeSports. Wells takes the inbound in the backcourt, and we are underway for quarter number 2. Crandall took a long shot near the end of the first, wasn't able to connect. Now the Quakers get back to work on the offensive. Crandall double teamed inside to Wells. He goes low post into Willie, and it is a charge against Isaac. A great job by the Aviators. They stand in the fire. They draw the charge. Less than 20 seconds in, we have a foul on the board against New Philly. Patience is going to be a key factor in this type of game. You have a lower scoring affair anticipated, a lot of defense, not too much offense. This is what you expect to see, a gritty contest. Every foul will matter. You do not want to give your opponent any free trips to the line, if you can avoid it. Burton, far wing, inside, Nicholson, mid-range. No good, and a great box out. Murphy denies Scheibel an opportunity for the basketball, and Crandall, untouched, picks it up. That is great off-ball defense by Murphy, and only being a sophomore, that is a high IQ play. Love to see it. Wells dishes. It's Murphy, top of the key, will swing. Crandall has a lane, bobbles the basketball, goes to the corner. Picked up by Murphy, goes inside, a little shy, tried banking it, the bank says no, and a travel is called. They get it on Cam Burton. Possession, New Philly. Don't know exactly what they saw on that play, but either way, maybe he picked up his dribble a little bit too soon or slid a little bit. Either way, New Philly gets it back, and they will definitely take it. Crandall goes low post, but it's booted out of play. And I mentioned it earlier on in the contest when we had that beautiful backdoor cut. Those type of cuts will be big in this game. There was a wide open look for Miller. At that point, you give up the kickball violation. You live to fight another day, and now the back door, it's closed. You don't have that lane opening up. That's a big IQ play by Alliance. A good bit of business. Willie inside, immediately double teamed, out Crandall to the top for Miller. Or no, excuse me, that is Harriman, and Harriman connects. T.R. Harriman, 2 3-pointers, give him 6. As Nicholson goes down the floor and ties it up at 12. Tajay now has 5. Tajay Nicholson heating up in this ball game. Alliance, their offense becoming a lot more balanced. Their defense, it continues to be dominant, and that is a forced travel. Alliance, their defense, it's going everywhere. It's following the ball. It's a risky defense. The way that they play, it leaves the 3-ball wide open on multiple occasions, as we've seen with Harriman making 2 so far. If they can find a way to minimize the 3-point attempts of New Philly while also playing this scrappy zone, they can win this game, and they can win good. Top to Scheibel. He hands it off to Brisker. 6 minutes left to go in the first half. 12 all the score. Burton taking it back, has Wells in his face. Cuts left at the key, will hand off J.R. Jackson. Pivoting left, tries to find a lane. He scoots right, fades it, and sinks it. J.R. Jackson, slippery inside the arc. An excellently executed drive by J.R. He found the space, he slides inside, and it's too easy from that sort of range. And we do have a foul called here. It goes on Cash Brisker. So far in the second quarter, 1 foul on both sides. Wells to inbound for the Quakers. We are back underway. Miller scoots by, inside, banks it in. Quinn Miller on the board, his first 2, and that will tie it up at 14. An excellent game so far. 28 combined points, no difference right now. Burton sneaks it over to Brisker, into the corner, it's Scheibel. Henry will facilitate, back out to Brisker. Burton wide open, instead they go back door to Sears, and Sears banks it. Beautiful cut by Braylon Sears. No one in the zip code. It's too easy for Braylon. Make it 16-14, and we have our second foul of the quarter on the Aviators. If you are Chet Harper right now, you have to be pleased with the way that your bench has played in this one. You're able to rotate guys in and out. You look at Tajay, he looked dominant early. Then you make a slew of substitutions, and your guys, they continue to scrap. They continue to fight for you. Chet Harper, he has the making to be one of the best ever coaches of this basketball program if he can keep the program going in the direction it is right now. I think he can, and I think Chet has a long stay here in A-Town awaiting him. Murphy at the O. Will hand it off. It's Harriman leading the way with 6 points for New Philly. Hands it off behind Wells. And Scheibel right there playing scrappy defense. The Aviators go to a man. No bucket there. It's stripped. Nicholson gets a piece. Scooped back up by Murphy. Outside. It's a three. No good from Miller. And it's taken in by J.R. Jackson. The Aviators bend but don't break. And here they go on the offensive. Burton step back mid-range. Money! Nothing but nylon for Cam Burton. His first field goal. Give him 3. The Aviators now lead by 4. Talk about a rebound. Alliance, they struggled down the stretch of the first quarter. Those 2 free throws from Henry Scheibel gave them the lead. But now they're playing as a coherent unit, and that has given them a lot more versatility in their offense. They go down low inside. It's scooped up by Burton. Another turnover against New Philly. Here come the Aviators. It's Burton, and it is a charge on Cam. Cam Burton tried to do a little bit too much, and he will get called for the foul. His first, the Aviators' third of the frame. With New Philly trailing by 4 right now, their saving grace has to be the sole fact that the Aviators only have 1 more foul to give. If they can force 2 fouls on the board, they go to the line, and they could take back the game piece by piece that way. It might not be pretty, but it gets the job done. Murphy, far side, launches the 3. Money! Lincoln Murphy from outside the arc. 5 points, 2 blocks. The sophomore is on fire. It is a 1-point game. Lincoln Murphy on a heater tonight. This Quakers team looking good. Their sophomore class dominating. To the corner, Sears launches a 3 of his own. No good, inside iron denies. Rebound Murphy. And the Quakers waste no time. It's Crandall, goes up and down. And there it is. A travel is called. It took a good moment for it to be decided. He went up and down, and then they made the decision. The right call in the end. Another bit of great defense by A-Town, and they will take it up the floor. Less than 3 to go in the first half. A 1-point ball game on hand. And this is what we expected from this contest. A back-and-forth affair, both sides playing some of their best defensive basketball. Nicholson in the paint, getting bodied, flings, finds Jackson. Goes to the corner for Burton. And now the Quakers playing a zone double-team defense. Scheibel gets it on the tip, goes low to Sears. It's picked off. That is Willie scooping it, and here come the Quakers. Murphy near wing, dishes behind. It's Crandall in the lane. Gets tied up with Jackson, finds Murphy, a little shy, and it is out of play off of J.R. Jackson and Braylon Sears. Cole Pasco subs back in, and for the first time in a while, Henry Scheibel will sub out. Coach Harper giving him a lot more game time tonight in comparison to Saturday. And that could be a good thing given his ability to be a spark plug 3-point shooter. At the top of the arc, it's Harriman. Now to the corner, it's Crandall for 3. No good, back iron, rebound, Tajay Nicholson. Another great defensive board by Alliance. 2 minutes on the clock, here comes their offense. Alliance, their next games at Marlington, at Canfield, home against Howland, and home against Massillon Perry before the playoffs. And we have a foul called on the Aviators. It will go against Nicholson. That will be the 4th of the frame. No more fouls to give for Alliance in the final just above 90 seconds. And that will be big. For New Philly at Madison Comprehensive, at home against John Glenn, Dover, and Worcester before the playoffs come calling. To the top of the key, it's Murphy, the sophomore. Outside, Crandall pumps, goes inside the arc. Willie in the middle of the paint, and it will go against New Philly. Scheibel immediately subs back in as he will relieve Tajay Nicholson. For the Aviators, Pasco, Burton, Scheibel, Jackson, and Sears, the 5. 1:15 on the clock in the first half. A tight one on hand, 18-17 the score. Keep in mind, New Philly, the last team to score. It has been a hot minute since we've seen a basket. Scheibel sets the screen. Burton has a lane just in front of the free throw line. No good. Rebound Miller. And Miller almost hit with Burton, No foul called. They go low to Willie. It's out of play. Possession Alliance. New Philly definitely wanted a blocking foul to be called on Cam Burton. The officials say no, and we remain at 18-17. Still a lot of basketball left to go in this one, though. It's Burton near side. 40 seconds on the clock. Jackson takes it far side, and now it's time for a simple game of catch. To the corner, Sears outside. Jackson gets some space from the key. No good. Scheibel, however, cleans it up. Henry Scheibel now has 4. The Aviators lead by 3. Final 20 seconds of the first half here at Harry Fales Gymnasium. Harriman swings it up the floor. He has 6 points so far, all of which have come from outside the arc. Do they find him again in the final 10 seconds? He bobbles at the logo. Now they swing. It's Miller, the 3. It's in! Quinn Miller at the buzzer ties it at 20. That is more like it for the Quakers. New Philly at the horn ties it up, and we will have a new ball game come the second half. Through 16 minutes, honors even in Alliance, 20-all. You are watching OHSAA Boys Basketball on SmeeSports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. We will be back on in a few moments to break down the first half, preview the rest of our games this week, including a big one on Thursday as Garfield Heights welcomes in Warrensville Heights at 7:30 for a big LEL clash. And as well, we will talk about our spring sports coverage. Stay tuned for that. As of right now, enjoy the halftime show, and we will be back on in a few minutes. Halftime at Harry Fields Gymnasium. Honors Even 2020, your score. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening as we are back on for the halftime report. Looking at this matchup so far, it has been a good back and forth affair, dominated by defense, and that is what we really expected from this game. Once again, Alliance averaging just above 55 points per game. New Philly averaging just below 53. They're both in the 50 to 60 range, and that is where I see this game ending. When you look at their in-common opponents, you look at Worcester, 54-52 victory for New Philly. That's great. Alliance beat them 65-53. Then we look at the other one, Northwest. New Philly wins 56-49. That's great, a good win. Alliance beats them on a walk-off from J.R. Jackson, essentially, 60-59. Alliance trailed big in that game. So you look at the teams in common, and you really don't learn anything about this matchup, and that is a weird phenomenon. This matchup, it was a toss-up heading in. The records go out the window. You have two teams that play defense first, scoring second, but the scoring doesn't seem like a second facet. It seems like the first, and that is how both of these teams operate, and that is why that they have had success this season. New Philly, they play in a tough conference. When you have to play Mansfield twice a year, it's not going to end well. You have to play Dover twice a year. That's not what you want to see. Lexington as well in there, they're a good team. You play a lot of these teams twice, you get battle tested, and that is why their 5-5 conference record is very impressive. Out of conference, they're 4-3. Not bad at all. Alliance in conference, they are 7-2. Outside of conference, they're 4-4. A win tonight, they're 5-4. A loss, 4-5. Alliance, they're battle tested by one team really in the EBC, and that is Carrollton. That is why Friday is such a big night for basketball. Alliance, they not only need to beat Marlington, but they also need Minerva to take down Carrollton. If both happen, they win the EBC. Otherwise, the Warriors take it. Either they win or Alliance loses, and it's over. Carrollton will be your EBC champions. But Alliance, they want this conference title. They want it bad. They won it in 22 and in 23. They won it again. They took a one-year hiatus, and they feel they can get back to the big time this year. They have had a lot go their way. And you look at the games they have remaining until the playoffs. At Marlington, a good defensive test. At Canfield, you have a team that was at one point ranked top 25 in NEO. You play Howland at home, and that is a big, big game just for the sole fact of that is a conference clash next year. Howland bumping over to the EBC. And then finally, you host Massillon Perry next Saturday the 15th. Very good opponents, and that will conclude your Federal League schedule. You played 4 Fed League teams this year, and that was by design. Coach Harper, he is ingrained in the Federal League. He wanted to see a bunch of those teams. He took McKinley, he took Glen Oak, he took Jackson, and he took Perry. I like it. Maybe we see Hoover in the near future. That I don't know of, but next year you have 3 of those teams here, and then you go and play Perry on the road. It's a good schedule. They're battle-tested. New Philly, equally battle-tested. One side will win, one side will lose. That's the nature of this game. But as of right now, nothing really separates these two teams, and that is an interesting spot for us to rejoin the action as the second half begins. It will be the little things in the final 16 minutes of regulation that decide the winner of this one. And just like that, J.R. Jackson is back on the board. That could be the little thing, getting J.R. Jackson rolling a little bit more. He now has 8 points after scoring 6 in the first half. Getting J.R. on fire has to be a goal of Alliance, and that had to be part of the halftime talk. Mush Rush fakes the handoff, will go inside on J.R. Jackson, under the basket, goes to the corner for Wells. Wells top. Crandall slips inside in the paint, goes to the far corner. Murphy pumps, goes outside. Crandall wide open. String music! Carson Crandall gets redemption, and New Philly takes the lead. An excellent 3 for New Philly. Their last 2 offensive possessions both ended in triples. And now miscommunication. It goes into the backcourt. Burton just trying to get a piece of it. He does it. It's out of play. Did he execute it? Yes, he did! Cam Burton baits New Philly to go for the basketball, and that will keep possession with the Aviators. I don't know if that is what he was trying to do, but if that was the plan, perfect execution. That is rarely pulled off, but Cam Burton keeps the rock with the Aviators. A potential swinging point in this one. Jackson cutting right, pumps in the key outside. Braylon Sears slips in, out to Nicholson, and we go back to the top with Cam Burton. Burton so far 3 points, but that play just gone. Maybe his biggest contribution of the ballgame. It's J.R. Jackson at the logo, far side. Screen from Nicholson. 6:15 on the clock in the third. Jackson from the key, a little shy. It's a rebound mismatch as the Aviators go at each other, which leads to the Quakers picking it up. Not a good sign for miscommunication, as that just leads to points. It's Quinn Miller in transition. 25-22, the Quakers lead. Both parties went up for the rebound. The Quakers, they saw it. They took advantage of the miscommunication. That's 2 points the Aviators feel should not be on the board right now. It's Pasco at the top. Now Cam Burton in the wing. Can the Aviators find a basket here? Burton pivoting, will go top to Nicholson. Now it's Cam Burton once more. Jackson near wing. A three ties it, he pumps, he gets the defender to bait, goes inside, and rolls it in. J.R. Jackson thought that he had it, and he did. Murphy, he was committing to the three, and that gave Jackson his lane. J.R. Jackson, one of the more savvy players on the court. Inside, Mush Rush slips in, and a travel is called before the basket. A little bit of walking from Mush Rush. That will give the basketball back to Alliance. A field goal gives them back the lead. And expect this to be the status quo throughout the rest of the ball game. One side scores, maybe wait a second, the other side scores. It's going to be a lot of that. Jackson pulls up, no good. Rebound Miller. And now New Philly, after surrendering the two, will get back to work on the offensive. It's Murphy, far side. They find Miller. Now top, Wells. Money! Reed Wells, his first three of the ball game. And that will give New Philadelphia their first two-possession lead. Biggest lead of the night has been 4, and now it flips in favor of the Quakers. To the elbow, it's Pasco. Up top, Nicholson. Can the Aviators find their response? Good spacing outside. Alliance trying to find their avenue in. It's Nicholson top. Thought about the three instead, hands it off. Sears, the cut from Pasco, he ignores. Goes top key, it's Burton. Burton slipping in, will go to the corner for Nicholson. Now back out to Burton. The Aviators drilling clock a lot here. Sears has space, goes top. It's Jackson. JR has his lane, takes it. A little bit shy on the effort. Mush Rush picks it up. Aiden Mush Rush, a big rebound for the Quakers. And here comes their offense. It's a wide open Miller, and he makes it. Quinn Miller on a heater for New Philly. Give him 10. Timeout Alliance. Quinn Miller, he had the three to tie it at halftime, and then a massive bucket in transition. 5 points in the entire first half, and in the second half, through about 4 minutes, he has 5. A massive evening for him as he is looking great. It's the Quakers up by 7 on the road at Harry Fields Gymnasium. We will step aside for a moment. New Philadelphia out of the locker room looking stellar. An 11-4 run for the Quakers. They lead 31-24 over Alliance. This is OHSAA boys basketball on SmeeSports. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. Brisker near wing will take it. Scoots low to Jackson. It's out of play. Possession, New Philly. Alliance claiming it took a ricochet off of a Quaker, and they win the appeal. Definitely a confusing sequence. Alliance, they need a way back in, and it starts with number 1. JR makes his way inside, has a lane, he is stripped, it's clean, out of play, possession Alliance. Coach Ross still very happy with the way his team is playing. They will take that play any day. It forces the Aviators to get back to the drawing board, and better yet, it denies Jackson a clear-cut chance in the lane. 3:05 left to go in Q3, 31-24 the score. It's Braylon Sears top, will find Cam Burton. Burton swings far side, it's Cash Brisker now. Cash top, Sears gets a little bit too much of a shove. And with 2:55 on the clock in the quarter, that will be the first foul of the second half. Hard to believe that we really haven't seen any fouls, but that's the case. Just over 5 minutes in, and we see our first. The Aviators working methodically. That works most times, but right now, they need points on the board, and they need them quick. Burton takes his lane, can't convert. Pasco tips it, and it finds Jackson. A great play by Cole, and now the Aviators have a second life. Jackson plants, goes again, and will pick up his dribble. From the screen of Pasco, slips inside the paint, cutting right, will float. Yes! J.R. Jackson gets the mid-range to fall. He now has 12, 31-26 the score. And J.R. Jackson, he can convert from pretty much anywhere on the shooting map. Outside, inside, on a drive, mid-range, a hook, you name it. J.R. Jackson finds a way to convert. It's Miller near wing, Brisker getting a little bit too friendly. Will swing, Murphy, step back in the corner, goes top. Harriman, far side, now Miller in the wing. Less than 2 to go. Miller has a lane, floats with the left and sinks it. Quinn Miller, the junior, now with 12. And that negates the basket from Jackson on the long, drawn-out possession. Brisker top, 1:38 on the clock in the frame. Brisker goes inside, hooks it up, no good. Mushrush scoops it, and here comes New Philly. And they have broken the trap. That has been the turning point. Miller inside will scoop to Mushrush, and Mushrush makes it. 35-26, New Philly on top. The Quakers who made the trip definitely pleased with this one. It's Pasco far wing for the Aviators, goes top, Jackson, some separation, closes inside, finds Brisker, now to the corner, it is Cam Burton. Burton far side, Pasco to the corner for Sears. 1 minute on the clock in Q3. The Aviators need a big response. Jackson top has plenty of space, can't get the 3 to go, and it's taken in by Miller. Quinn Miller continues his heater, swings far side, it's Murphy. Has a lane, will swing, Miller finds Harriman. And New Philly will slow down. Definitely the right decision here. You have the lead, make the Aviators chase on defense, and go into the fourth with a big lead in hand. The biggest lead of the game thus far, a 9-point advantage. It's Murphy, 20 seconds on the clock. Miller, the man who changed this ball game. His 3 changed the course of this one. Out of play, but first we do have a timeout called by New Philly. Either way, it would have been their basketball, as they will call a 30-second timeout. The rest of our coverage this week goes as such. On Thursday, it is our game of the week. Garfield Heights host Warrensville Heights, 7:30 tip, 7 p.m. We do have some Athletic Hall of Fame introductions at Garfield Heights. That will be a big one. Garfield, the task is simple. Win and you are LEL champions. Warrensville, if you win, all you have to do then, I believe, is just take care of business against Shaw, and you steal the LEL from Garfield Heights. On Friday, it is the backyard brawl at Marlington, 6:45 tip. The Dukes and the Aviators go at it, and then we will have one final game this week as Marlington welcomes in Canton South, 6:45 p.m. tip over at Marlington High School. All those games will be live on SmeeSports. And to stay up to date on all of the games we are covering, follow me on social media at SmeeSports on Instagram and at SmeeFest2024 on Twitter. Wells gets some space. Final 10 seconds of the third. It's Murphy, loose ball. Sears picks it up, goes to Jackson. He has 3 seconds, and he lays it in at the death. J.R. Jackson doesn't go flashy. He takes the 2 and gives us a football score at the end of 3. It is 35-28, New Philly on top. The Quakers looking dominant, but a big steal and bucket from J.R. Jackson gives the Aviators hope. 8 minutes left to go in regulation. We will step aside. This is OHSAA boys basketball on SmeeSports. Eight minutes left to go in regulation here at Harry Fales Gymnasium, and we have a good one on hand this evening. 35-28 New Philadelphia on top over Alliance. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening if you are just joining us. The man with the basketball, Quinn Miller, his 3 at the end of regulation in Q2 changed the game for the better if you are a New Philly fan, and if they win, he will be your player of the game. Brisker the steal, he goes in transition, and it is 4 quick-fire, pickpocketed points for the Aviators. Make it now a 5-point game. It was a 9-point game in the dying seconds of the third. 2 big steals, 2 big baskets, 4 big points. Murphy near wing, the Quakers slowing this game down a lot. They want to seal it here. They go outside Wells to the corner. Miller pumps, goes outside Wells. Takes his chance on Jackson, spins left. It's Miller in the corner. They go far side. Murphy wide open. No good. Front iron denies. Miller picks up the loose basketball. Goes into Scheibel. The brick wall says no. Henry holds up. It's Jackson and Sears. Jackson Euros and banks it home. J.R. Jackson, another big basket. We are back to a 1-possession game. Defense into offense. A tale as old as time itself. And it is paying dividends tonight for the Aviators. Crandall has a lane. He is stripped, and there's the foul. New Philly had a case on the first one that it should have been a foul. Now Alliance, they have a case that shouldn't have been a foul. And I don't know if that is on the shot. It looks like they're going to say it is. I see why, but was there enough of a shooting motion to call it, yes or no? And they say no. I think the officials got this one right. There wasn't enough there. We see a lot of those. If you are stripped in the process of going up for a shot like that, 9 times out of 10, they favor with it being an inbound opposed to free throws. Miller inbounds as we are back underway. Crandall to the top for Wells. Inside, Mushrush has a lane, and it's there. Jackson's efforts not enough as he is greeted by the backboard. 37-32 the score. The offense picking up down the stretch. Burton near wing for A-Town. Works on the screen from J.R. Jackson. Gets it outside. J.R. in the paint. Has his lane. No shot, and it is a foul on New Philly. That will be the first of the fourth quarter on the Quakers. Each side now has surrendered 1. Burton to inbound. He will go outside the arc to JR. Now Scheibel goes low to Nicholson. Pumps and goes up and in. Tajay Nicholson, he read the room perfectly, and he takes the 2. Give him 7. J.R. Jackson, the leading scorer of both sides with 16. Mushrush in the paint. Euros hooks it a little bit shy. Scheibel tips it, and Jackson gets it back to Scheibel, and Scheibel gets it to Jackson. 1 and 24 combined for a great play. It's Burton, corner three. It's ahead! Burton ties it at 37. Cam Burton, a massive three, honors even once more. What a swing. A 9-point swing by the Aviators in the last couple of minutes. And now a blocking foul is called to the shock of Cam Burton. Definitely agree with that one, but he still had some things to say. But either way, a massive three by Cam Burton. He now has 6. Another big basket. He has had so many great plays tonight. 6 points, but a bigger impact than 6. Miller in the corner, immediately double team. They go far side. Crandall pumps, slips inside, immediately greeted by a double team. Murphy top to Wells. Now Miller. It's in! Quinn Miller responds. Make it 40-37. Quinn Miller, a spark plug three once again. Tajay Nicholson, step back. No good, rebound mush rush. A big miss and a big rebound for the new Philly Quakers. 5 minutes left to go. It's 40-37. Wells inside, goes to Crandall. Deep, it's money! What is range for Carson Crandall? It doesn't matter. Make it a 6-point ball game. 2 massive threes in a row for New Philly. They go low now. The Aviators pick out Nicholson, and it slips in. Tajay Nicholson just had enough behind it. And he gets back to work on the defensive. Needs to be careful to not foul as he avoids it there. Now Wells in the wing. It's blocked by Brisker and picked up by Burton. Great help defense by Cam. Here comes A-Town. They go low. It's a loose ball. Nicholson can't pick it up. Murphy scoops it. He's had blocks, points, and steals. Murphy, an all-around great performance. It's Crandall in the lane, and he opens the bank. Carson Crandall heating up as well. He now has 10. Timeout called with the Quakers up by 6. It will be a full timeout called by A-Town. Tied at 37, then a big run for New Philly. 4 minutes to hold on. It is New Philadelphia on the cusp of win number 10. New Philadelphia, they are heating up on offense. Exactly 4 minutes left to go in this one. 45-39 the score in favor of the Quakers. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening if you are just tuning in. To stay up to date on all the games that we are covering here on SmeeSports, follow us on Instagram at SmeeSports and on Twitter at SmeeFest2024. Into the corner, it's Braylon Sears. The Aviators looking to roll their offense. They've had some struggles, but Cam Burton takes another three. No good this time. Jackson, it's blocked, loose inside, out of play, but no, and now it is. Burton hit a big three a little bit ago. Couldn't connect there. Loose ball inside. New Philly, a basket here, and they might have enough to pull away. A big momentum swing could happen here. Alliance, if they can get back to their roots and get a big steal, they have a chance to retake the lead. Still down by 6, a lot of work to do, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. To the top, it is Crandall. Crandall spinning right, spades back, no good. A rebound, Cam Burton. A big rebound by Cam. The Aviators, they need points of any kind. High pass inside as Brisker picks out Nicholson for 2. Tajay Nicholson, for the third straight game, has double-digit points. An excellent surge by Tajay when it matters most. The Aviators, they might have their number 2. Harriman stopped the arc. He has 6. Goes inside, tipped by Burton, and finds Mush Rush. The Quakers keep it. They go back outside, and a timeout is called. We will see if it is full or 30 seconds. They call full timeout. And I like that move by the new Philadelphia Quakers. You call time, you regather, you lead by 4. This is going to be a tight finish. Keep in mind the Aviators, 2 fouls to give. A lot of fouls, a lot of running around left to go in this one before you can go home with a victory. As well, if you are new, go down below and subscribe. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of May. If you are new, a subscription would help greatly. It costs nothing. And as I said, it greatly helps out all that we do here at SmeeSports as well. If you are a business owner, whether it be in the Cleveland or Stark County area looking to sponsor broadcasts, contact me at one of those 3 avenues on your screen, and I would love to work out a deal with you to best promote your business and your brand. A lot of fans on hand tonight. It has been a fun night of basketball so far at Harry Fales Gymnasium. Still a few more moments left to go. This will be SmeeSports' final regular season game at Harry Fales. We will be back here on the 14th, but it will be on channel 1022 as the Aviators welcome in Howland. That will be a fun one. Channel games, they have one on Thursday as it is Alliance versus Marlington Wrestling. That will be a fun one. But as I mentioned before, we will be at Garfield Heights as the Bulldogs welcome in Michi Johnson and the Warrensville Heights Tigers for the second and final brother versus brother clash of the season. The first one went to Garfield Heights at Warrensville Heights on January 2nd. Harriman to inbound, tipped out of play by Sears, and it will remain with the Quakers. 2:46 on the clock. Still 45-41. Harriman goes backcourt, picks out Wells. And now New Philadelphia, they will roll a little bit slower. It's Harriman. Almost an up and down. It looked like he was bouncing a little bit too much there. The officials say no. Wells to the logo. It's Harriman. Harriman cutting right, gets it back out to Wells. Wells rolling, 2:20 on the clock in regulation. New Philly up by 4. A low backdoor cut, and Crandall banks it. They've talked about it all night. Another backdoor cut. It's a 6-point ball game. A lot to play for still as Jackson goes inside and draws the foul. JR needs both of these to fall massively. The Aviators trail by 6. They need a spark plug. They need JR Jackson right now. There'll be all eyes on JR in this sequence. The first of 2 for Jackson is on point. As per usual, JR Jackson, the star player, he has 17. Sears will sub out of the ballgame for the Aviators. Burton, Brisker, Jackson, Pasco, and Nicholson, the 5. And the second, it won't count. Someone left early. And that will negate the opportunity. It would have counted, but instead someone left a little bit too quick. A heartbreaker for the Aviators. Now their defense has to roll down by 5 opposed to 4. Final 2 minutes of regulation. Brisker playing some great defense. Crandall gets through. Hands it off behind. It's Wells at the logo. Brisker the defense. Wells cutting left. Finds the open man. That is Harriman. T.R. Harriman, loose ball to ground ball. It finds Miller. 1:38 on the clock. He cuts inside. The Quakers playing keep away. Jackson pressing. JR trying to force a turnover. It's a loose ball, and it's a timeout called. A big timeout call by Coach Zach Ross exactly at the right time as that basketball almost went back to the Aviators. Looking at the final couple minutes of this one, that would have been a big free throw from Jackson, making a 4-point ball game, and that would have been a big turnover for the Quakers. They hold up just long enough and survive. This has been a tight matchup as expected, and New Philly right now hanging on by a thread. Their next couple of games, they're at Madison Comprehensive on the 7th, then they host John Glenn on the 8th, they host Dover on the 11th, and they host Worcester on Valentine's Day before heading into the playoffs. As for Alliance, they're at Marlington come Friday, 6:45 p.m. tip from Marlington High School. We will have the broadcast for that one. Then they go to Canfield on the 11th. They host Howland on the 14th. Channel 1022 will have that broadcast. And then finally, to close out the regular season, they will host Massillon Perry. A lot of big names and faces in the house tonight. Cam Evidence and Coach Evidence of Marlington on the far side. Mount Union's legendary football coach, Larry Karras, in attendance tonight as well. Jackson picks it up on the inbound. He steals it, goes to the lane, and makes it a one-possession game. A big scoop and score by J.R. Jackson. This one not over yet. Still in the backcourt. It scoops back to Wells. And they get into the front court. It's Murphy to Miller. Miller has a lane, goes far side. It's Mush Rush. The Quakers playing keep away. 1 minute left to go in regulation. Minute 32, and it's a foul. The third on the Aviators. They still have one more to give. 47-44 the score. This one still has an opportunity for fireworks or even OT. Would not be surprised to see this one head into a final 4 minutes. Wells. Alliance getting a little bit more scrappy. Now 52 seconds on the clock, now 50. Murphy will swing it over Miller. Great movement by the Quakers, and Cam Burton gives a nice friendly hug to Reed Wells. No more fouls to give for the Aviators. It might be time for the fouling game, and based on that, it might be. If they don't get the pick, they might do an early foul. I would not be surprised. The horn sounds. And now it looks like the officials are being called over to the scorer's table. They say there's one more on the floor, but I think the book might have something else. I think that's what they're discussing right now below. But either way, confusing. And they will go with the 4. I think the home book had 5 fouls. I think that is what it was. Nothing given. Burton goes to the ground, no call. The Aviators furious. And now the Quakers play keep away, and a foul is called on Cash Brisker. A lot of angry Aviators. Burton, he has been tossed around a lot with no fouls called this evening, and we saw that a lot in the Louisville game as well. 2 big free throws upcoming here for the Quakers. It's Quinn Miller the first. It's there. Make it a 2-possession ball game, 48-44. The Aviators need a miss and a rebound. Potentially a timeout too. The second is there. Miller makes both 2 big buckets. He now has 17. Jackson scoops it in the front court, and it is kicked away by Quinn Miller. 5-point game, 39.8 left to go in regulation. Alliance, they still have a chance to come back, but right now it appears New Philly is holding on. Cole Pasco checks out of the ball game. Nicholson, Sears, Jackson, Brisker, and Burton, the 5, and it's picked off. A big steal by Crandall, and there is the foul. Send Crandall and the Quakers to the line. That might have sealed it. Carson Crandall, an excellent game for the visiting team. He has 12 points and maybe the steal that seals it. Still, it's up in the air. Make these 2. It's a 3-possession ball game, and that would do it. Crandall, the first of 2. No good. New Philly not out of the woods quite yet. Another massive free throw upcoming for New Philly. Crandall makes it. He splits the pair. That will have to do for New Philly. He now has 13, and we have a timeout called I say it very often, you don't get any bonus points for saving your timeouts. I like the move. Make sure you have everything in place. The Aviators, they need 6 points. You know where the ball is going. You know it is going to J.R. Jackson, and if not J.R., most likely Tajay. Either way, this game, it's been a fun one. 20 all at the half. Both offenses wake up in the second half. New Philly has 50. The Aviators have 44. 3 more broadcasts left to go this week. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday slate. Thursday, Garfield Heights versus Warrensville Heights boys basketball. 7:30 p.m. tip at Garfield. On Friday at 6:45, Alliance and Marlington for the backyard brawl. That game will be at Marlington High School. And on Saturday, we return to Marlington one final time in the regular season as the Dukes take on a very talented Canton South Wildcat side. To stay up to date on all the games we are covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFest2024 on Twitter, and subscribe to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I upload or go live. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this school year, so end of May. If you're new, go down below and subscribe. It costs nothing, and it greatly helps out our efforts here at SmeeSports. And we have, I think, an intentional foul on the Quakers. Could this be a time-wasting mechanic? I don't know if I've ever seen this. Is this their plan? It would be genius. You send them to the line, they can't score 2 3-pointers. We'll see if that happens. Burton launches, a little shy, picks up his own miss. It's a second chance for the Aviators. Sears launches, no good. Nicholson goes for the rebound. Mush Rush says no, picks it up. New Philly picks up the basketball, and here they go. Crandall slips through, but is fouled. Mush Rush's rebound, a big one, and that will seal it. The fans begin their egress as Carson Crandall will have a few more free throws. An excellent game by New Philly. Stay tuned on social media as we will try and talk to your favorite players from New Philly and get a post-game interview with them along with Coach Ross. First of 2 is good for Crandall. He has 14. A lot of the starters sub out. They have done their job. It is 51-44, and it will be win number 10 on the year for New Philadelphia. The second, not there for Crandall. Rebound Jackson, and it is time to push the floor. Burton open in the corner, a little shy. Sears picks it up, scoops it in, and that will probably be the final shot of the game from the field. And now, do we see a timeout called? Yes, we do. Coach Harper calls it. Leading scorers for the Aviators, 19 for J.R. Jackson and 11 for Tajay Nicholson. As for New Philly, it's Quinn Miller. He is their leading scorer with, I believe, 17 and then 14 for Crandall. As of right now, your player of the game goes to Quinn Miller. Without that massive 3-pointer at the end of the first half, this comeback may not have been possible. He really impressed me tonight to make that shot, and especially looking back at the end of the first quarter, he lost track of time, launched the 3, didn't know the clock all too well, but to then reverse it. He knows the clock. He knows the situation. He ties it at the half. That's a leader right there. He owned his mistake. He made up for it. And with that play, the Quakers got rolling. It's inbounded. It's tipped. And the Quakers keep it. It's Murphy to scoop. No more fouls. And New Philly, for the 10th time this season, will win. This time, 51-46 over the Alliance Aviators. A tremendous evening by New Philly. It didn't look too good at the start. Alliance controlled this ball game, but in the end, it is the Quakers pulling away and getting a massive victory on the road. Once again, your player of the game, the momentum shifter, Quinn Miller, 17 points, and he will walk away with player of the game honors. To stay up to date on all the games we are covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFest2024 on Twitter, and subscribe to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I upload or go live. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of May. So if you are new, go down below and subscribe. It costs nothing, and it greatly helps out our efforts here at SmeeSports. We will be back on air come Thursday at Garfield Heights as we will have a big matchup on hand. The Bulldogs and the Tigers potentially for the LEL title. That will do it from Harry Fales Gymnasium, New Philadelphia 51, Alliance 46. Whether you watched from New Philadelphia, Alliance, anywhere in the country or out of the country, thank you for joining us on this Tuesday night, and we will see you next time. I have been Nathan Smee. This has been OHSAA Boys Basketball on SmeeSports.